cases of the coronavirus in other countries to the most extreme lockdown and fatalities as well. It began in earnest on March the 1st when 2 South African crew members on the cruise ship Princess Diamond tested positive in Japan. Government also announced it would be repatriating more than 100 students studying in Wuhan in China, the epicenter of the virus. That same day, 10 South Africans returned from a trip to Italy via Dubai. They were from Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. So 4 days later, on March the 5th, let's look at the timeline. A 38-year-old man who was part of the Italy tour group tested positive in Pietermaritzburg and went into isolation. The following day, there was another South African case, this time in South Korea, a teacher who was living and working there. On March the 7th, South Africa confirming its second local case of COVID-19, a 39-year-old woman from Gauteng, part of the same group who had visited Italy. The following day, the National Institute for Communicable Diseases confirmed a third case of COVID-19 in the country. A day later, 4 more cases announced, bringing the total number of cases in South Africa to 7. On March the 11th, as the SANDF was on its way to repatriate more than 100 South Africans from China, 6 new cases were confirmed, bringing the total number at that point to 13. At the same time, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. By March the 13th, we had 24 cases of COVID-19, and there was concern about the rapid spread the next day. Anecdotal evidence from other countries was that the virus mainly affected those above the age of 30. But in the Western Cape, a teenager tested positive. On March the 15th, with 61 confirmed cases, the president announced urgent and drastic measures to manage the disease. A week later, the president announced that the National Coronavirus Command Council had decided to enforce a nationwide lockdown for 21 days with effect from midnight on Thursday. That was last night. At midnight last night, South Africa went into lockdown, enforced social distancing to flatten the curve of the virus. South Africans are confined to their homes until April the 16th. Today, it was initially reported that 2 women in the Western Cape, aged 28 and 48, had died after contracting the virus. However, government later said that one may not be related to COVID-19. So if we look at the dates and the cases on a graph, you can clearly see the increase, or the curve that we talk about, that officials are referring to, and the need to flatten that curve. Right now, cases above 1,000 at 1,170.